William Shatner is 94. We are here to explore his quiet, later years. Everyone knows him as Captain Kirk, but even heroes carry private sorrow. I learned this while digging through his real story, not just the headlines. From a shy kid in Montreal to a face known around the world, his path feels human, brave, and complicated. At 94, he still works. He records voices. He even pops up on reality projects. On his birthday, he shared a heartfelt message and thanked fans with real warmth. The replies poured in with love. That does not sound like a farewell. It sounds like life. So what is the real picture behind the legend right now? You are watching Golden American Legends, and I am Sarah Reed. I grew up loving old movies and shows, and I know why these stories still matter. We will trace his early steps, the Star Trek blast-off, the work that never slowed, the day he went to space, the love of fans, and the quiet fight he turned into a cause. What does William Shatner mean to you? Share a favorite memory or quote below. Let's begin where it all started, in Montreal. He started in Montreal. Acting was not the obvious path, yet something kept pulling him toward the stage. Young William Shatner was shy until he found performance. He was born in 1931 into a working family, the kind that values grit and daily effort. At McGill University, he studied business, the safe road, but the spark began elsewhere. He worked in radio. He trained in summer theater. Bit by bit, he learned how to project his voice, how to command a room, how to live truth inside pretend worlds. That training forged a work ethic that never left. In the 1950s, he made serious moves to the stage, including Broadway. Those lights gave him confidence. Early television work followed in the early 1960s, the era of live drama and adventure shows that needed bold faces and bigger choices. Suddenly, the shy kid from Montreal looked like a leading man. The question was not if, but when the right role would arrive. And when it did, it changed his life and our culture. Next stop, the bridge of a starship. Then came Star Trek. In 1966, Shatner won the role of Captain James T. Kirk. Across 3 seasons, from 1966 to 1969, he led the crew of the Starship Enterprise through 79 episodes. Later came 7 films that kept the mission alive. What made Kirk work was not just the uniform, it was the energy. Shatner gave Kirk a bold, sometimes brash style, quick thinking, and heart. The motto to boldly go hit home for kids and adults who needed hope in a changing world. His clipped delivery, the glare, the grin, the sudden softness, all that turned a space captain into a cultural hero. Ratings were not always kind back then, but reruns and conventions built a movement. Kirk became a symbol of courage, curiosity, and second chances. Shatner carried that weight and still found play in the role. The underdog had become the star. But when a role is larger than life, what comes next after the bridge goes dark? Let's see how he answered that challenge. After Kirk, Shatner did not stop. He refused to be only one thing. He became a steady worker who loved to try new lanes. He played cops and heroes on television like in T.J. Hooker. He guided us through emergencies as the calm narrator of Rescue 911. Then he flipped the script and made us laugh and think as Denny Crane, the bigger-than-life lawyer who still felt human. Those turns earned real awards and fresh respect. Off-screen, he wrote books, toured a one-man show called Shatner's World, and lent his voice to animated roles and nature projects. He said yes to quirky gigs that kept him in our conversations. And here is the part I love most. Even in his 90s, he kept working, recording, hosting, showing up, learning new tricks. That is not coasting on old fame. That is craft. That is joy. Still, there was one frontier left that no script could fake, the kind of frontier only a rocket can reach. Then the final frontier called. At age 90, William Shatner went to space for real. He rode Blue Origin's New Shepard and crossed the line where Earth gives way to the black. He became the oldest person ever to reach space. The sight moved him to tears. You could see it the moment he stepped out. He spoke softly about the thin blue air that holds our lives and the vast dark beyond it. In that instant, the actor who led star voyages on TV became a traveler in truth. Fans felt the echo of Kirk, but this was different. This was a human being meeting the edge of everything and coming back humbled. That flight did more than grab a headline. It sealed a legacy of curiosity and courage. But even the wonder of space does not erase every shadow. The greatest journeys still leave you alone with yourself and with the sounds you carry home, which leads to the quiet battle he has faced for decades. He loves his fans. They love him back. Year after year, he meets them at cons, signs photos, and swaps stories. The line is long, but he is present. People leave with more than an autograph. They leave with a moment. On his 94th birthday, he shared a warm message online, thanking everyone for the support. The replies were a wave of gratitude, from first-time viewers to lifelong Trekkies. Even at special premieres, like his recent documentary events, he shows up and takes questions, letting audiences meet the person behind the captain. That bond matters. It proves this is not just nostalgia, it is connection. By the way, if you enjoy deep dives into legends like this, please subscribe, like, and share. It helps more fans find these stories. Have you ever met Shatner or another idol? I want to hear your best fan moment. Because behind chairs and camera flashes, there is also a private challenge he carries, and he turned that pain into purpose. He is not superhuman. Behind the mic, there is a ringing truth. In 1967, a set explosion during a Star Trek shoot injured his hearing. The sound that followed never left. It is called tinnitus, a constant ringing many people know too well. Shatner has lived with it for decades, some days better, some days hard. Instead of hiding, he chose to speak up. He shared that about 1 to 2% of people suffer a chronic and debilitating form of tinnitus, and there are no effective treatments yet. At 94, he recorded a candid message about his ups and downs and signed on to support a nonprofit pushing research. He used his famous voice to raise money and hope. That is bravery of a different kind, turning private pain into public good. It shows the man behind the myth, still giving, still fighting, still helping. So when people say tragedy, I pause. Is that the right word for this story? Let's look at the full reality. Some call it a tragedy, but what is the real headline? The facts show a different picture. At 94, Shatner remains active in projects and public events. He shares grateful birthday notes, not farewell letters. There is no public announcement of any catastrophic diagnosis. What we do see is an older artist who keeps moving, keeps creating, and speaks honestly about one hard challenge that he cannot shake. That is not a fall from grace. That is life. Aging brings limits and memories and losses. It also brings perspective. When I hear the word tragedy used for him, it feels off. The deeper story is resilience, work that never stopped, a community that keeps showing up, a voice that now advocates for others who suffer in silence. That is compassion, not collapse. So what do we take from all of this? We take a balanced view, one that honors his light and sees his shadows without turning pain into spectacle. Now, let's talk about legacy. What does 94 years teach us? That even icons are human. William Shatner helped build modern science fiction culture, and then he stepped into space for real. Humor, heart, and fearless curiosity carried him from Montreal to orbit and back. He became a bridge between the classic era and today. Fans across generations still see him as their captain because he played Kirk with courage and wit, and because he kept growing beyond the role. His message is simple. Stay curious, keep working, find awe, turn hurt into help. When I watch him today, I see one of the last living giants of a golden age. But I also see a person who never stopped asking what else is possible. That is why his story hits home now. It blends nostalgia with humanity. It reminds us that dreams can travel across galaxies and still land back on Earth with grace. Hold that thought as we close, because there is one more step we can all take together. We just saw how an uncertain kid became an interstellar legend, and how the truth behind the spotlight is richer than any headline. The real story is not a grim fall. It is a life of work, wonder, and quiet courage. If you want more human portraits of classic stars, hit subscribe, drop a like, and share this with a friend who loves old Hollywood. Thank you for watching Golden American Legends. I am Sarah Reed, and I hope this changed how you see the man behind the captain. Please keep exploring our other videos for more deep dives and fresh takes. Here is my last question. Does the word tragedy fit William Shatner's Twilight years, or does resilience describe it better? Tell me why, and keep the conversation kind. Thanks for spending time with me today. Until next time, stay curious and keep the stories alive.